Amazon Prime has released the trailer for their Australian reboot of The Office, and it has millions of views. Then again, so does the Zapruder film. And between the two, the Aussie Office has a worse dislike ratio. I want to take a look at the trailer, talk about what's wrong with it, and give my answer to the question we're all asking, what was Amazon thinking? So, according to the trailer, what is this show? We have the clueless boss.
Big announcement.
The cranky HR person.
This is a proper HR nightmare.
Played here by Samoan Howard Stern. We have the staff who doesn't want to be there.
As of today, we are all back in the office full time. What?
That's not good news.
The trailer is roasting itself at this point. We have the eager sidekick.
Do I want to support the vision of my branch manager? At all costs.
And the flirty couple we're all supposed to relate to. Just look at that chemistry. That's all familiar, but they've taken it in some exciting new directions. You know how the American show had an episode where there was a bat in the office? Well, in this version, it's a bird. It also has a storyline about a guy who sleeps at the office. The American Office had that, but it was a deleted scene.
4 nights a week I stay here and live in this office.
I assume they deleted it because it was just too funny to air. What you may not know is that this is the 13th iteration of The Office. Aside from the original British version, they've done The Office in Saudi Arabia, Israel, Poland, France, India, Finland, Sweden, Canada, Chile, and Germany. It's the official show of the global American empire. I hear the real reason Putin invaded was to stop Ukraine from doing one. It's like the McDonald's of TV, but the thing about TV is that unlike a burger, once it's made, it's made. All those other versions were in the native language of those countries. But we already have this show in English. The original BBC show did 14 episodes, and the American Office did 188, 9 network seasons. You can push a sitcom pretty hard, but by the end of 9 seasons, you've probably done all you can. American TV rode that horse until its lungs collapsed, then shot it in the head about 14 years ago. And the Aussies are putting a saddle on it now. When you're creating a TV show, you're building what writer Jamie Nash calls a story engine, creating characters in a world with lots of narrative potential. Then as you're writing, you're pushing that story engine to its limits. Think about The Simpsons. It's a complex story engine with a core cast and tons of side characters, and they pushed that thing hard. The Simpsons, Seinfeld, and The American Office had about 7 brilliant seasons, and after that, they all fell off. The Aussie version is now using the exact same story engine as the American one with a few superficial changes, so they're limited. This trailer also shows there's a huge difference between cringe comedy and cringe comedy. When you watch The Dinner Party or Scott's Tots, you were cringing because the writers wanted you to. With this show, the writers are making you cringe accidentally, which takes much less talent. It's the difference between watching Nathan For You and watching Olympic breakdancing. And it's especially bad because, like Ray Gun, they're trying really hard. BJ Novak talked about how he wanted The American Office to feel naturalistic. The best mockumentaries, like Christopher Guest's, are great because they're realistic. They don't feel like actors delivering punchlines. The realism adds to the discomfort and to the comedy. Sting said that when he saw Spinal Tap, he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It's real. It's very real. The American Office came from observation, from imitating life. They started with the British show, but Greg Daniels and BJ Novak brought their own feel to it. They also brought a lot of heart that wasn't there in the original. Also, this may seem like a nitpick, but part of what makes The Office work is that they're all wearing ties. Jim is the most casually dressed one. The subtext is, this is a place of business. These crazy things shouldn't be happening here. In the Australian show, everyone's dressed more casually, which undermines the joke. It's like putting Barney Fife in a hoodie. So why do this? Well, 2 reasons. First, Amazon's original content isn't doing well. They spent $1 billion to make the first season of Rings of Power, and over half of viewers didn't finish it. Their real money is in licensed content. All the streamers have a top 10 slider on them now, but we all know that if it was honest, the #1 spot on Netflix would always be Seinfeld. And I don't mean the Pop-Tart movie. I guess what they're hoping is that enough people see The Office on Prime, click on it by accident, and watch enough of it to call it a success. As Gary said on Twitter, this is the Amazon Basics version of The Office. It's cheaper than the real thing, it's made by foreigners, and somebody's going to settle for it. Second, this version is made for the streaming era, a version made for second screen viewing. Here's actress Justine Bateman talking about this. I've heard from showrunners who are given notes from the streamers that this isn't second screen enough, meaning the viewer's primary screen is their phone and the laptop, and they don't want anything on your show to distract them from their primary screen. I heard somebody use this term before. They want a visual musac. All this show has to have is that familiar office rhythm. Just like the new episodes of The Simpsons don't have to be funny, they just have to look and sound like The Simpsons. Most of the shows you probably love were made when TV was appointment viewing. You had to sit down, shut up, and watch the thing to understand it. The best of these shows are dense with story and jokes, so they reward multiple viewings. Streaming TV and movies are designed to be watched in the background while you're folding laundry. You can fold laundry to The American Office or Seinfeld, but you usually do that when it's your 3rd or 4th watch through. This one is so banal that it its second screen material on its first viewing. So the bad news is that it's lame, and the good news is that it's lame.
That's not good news.